As difficult as it is to admit, I've come face to face with something inexplicable not just once but twice within my own home. This grand structure stands in a picturesque Polish village. The second floor, peculiar in its design, extends over just the front half of the house. Midway, there's an ornate balcony that offers a clear view of the elegantly designed living room below. Upon ascending the old, creaky wooden stairs, directly ahead lies an antique bathroom echoing tales from the past. My sister's room sits to the right, painted in light pastel shades and adorned with memories of our childhood. To the left, the corridor leads past the mysteriously quiet guest room and culminates at the entrance to my own room, a space where I've always felt most at peace. The guest room, however, is where the tale grows curious. Around the time I turned 9, my father, with his peculiar fascinations, began acquiring European tribal artifacts. These items, though not inherently haunting, added a palpable weight to the room's ambience. Especially captivating was a painting of a wolf with deep, mesmerizing yellow eyes. It felt alive, creating an unsettling atmosphere, but it was clear that it wasn't the root of the room's mystery. Even before these artifacts arrived, the room had a distinctive aura. Sometimes in the dead of night, soft whispers seemed to emerge from its corners, not discernible as words, but more like echoes from a time long past. Shadows moved without a source, and an inexplicable chill occasionally pervaded its air, as if the room remembered old stories and was trying to share them. The artifacts, while adding depth and intrigue, were mere spectators to the room's older, more profound secrets. Everyone in our family felt it. While my father's collection gave us stories to tell, the room itself was the true enigma, holding on to its secrets from a time before any of us could remember. The old house, with its aged charm, had always been full of mixed emotions and memories. The guest room was different, though. It felt heavy, even more than the thick fog that often covered our town in the chilly winters. In this room, the wooden floors groaned louder and the old wallpapers seemed to conceal secrets, not just the marks of time. The hanging light, with its ever-flickering bulb, cast eerie shadows, adding to the room's haunted feel. One cold evening, as the sunset's dark gold light played hide-and-seek with the long hallway curtains, something happened that made me see that room in a new, unsettling light. My younger sister, always so energetic, quickly threw some old dresses toward the guest room. They moved slowly, landing in a twisted pile at the door. It was then, from the balcony overlooking the hallway, that I saw my mother. She had witnessed the whole thing. Her voice, laced with worry and a hint of fear, corrected my sister. Meeting my gaze, her eyes silently pleaded for help. Slowly, I walked toward the room. From the worn rug at the entrance to the old paintings showing bleak landscapes, everything whispered of times long forgotten. The room was dimly lit by the fading light outside, making the long shadows look like they were alive and moving with the hanging light. From the distance, my mother's voice called, "Hurry up!" filled with a fear I hadn't heard before. Taking a deep breath, I stepped inside. The room felt even heavier, like walking through thick mud. Picking up the tossed clothes felt harder than it should, as a growing fear weighed on me. Just when I began thinking it was all in my head, I saw something that defied explanation. Reaching for a thin scarf on the edge of the wooden bed, a shadowy hand, clear but ghostly, appeared, seeming to reach for something, or someone. A loud scream burst from me, echoing through the house as I ran out as fast as I could. The moments after were a mix of comforting hugs, soft touches, and kind words. My sister, never one to miss a chance, teased me about my wild imagination, her laughter filling the air despite how serious it all felt to me. But deep down, I was sure that what I saw was real. As the years went by, the mystery of the room grew. Mother, for reasons she never shared, insisted that the door always be left open. I often wondered if it was her way of letting the room breathe, or perhaps she believed that keeping it shut might trap something inside. Visitors, without being asked, often said they felt uneasy in that room. Its atmosphere felt so different, as if time inside it moved more slowly, heavy with so many stories that were never told. The first friend from college didn't pay much attention to any warnings about the room and brushed them off with a confident smile. But as days went by, he began talking about dreams that felt too vivid and strange to be just dreams. In these nightmares, he wandered through dark, winding corridors with echoing footsteps behind him, or found himself trapped in rooms with walls slowly closing in. One eerie morning, he even found an old-fashioned feather pen on the bedside table which neither of us could explain. The other friend, more sensitive to the room's energies, had her own share of eerie experiences. She would often wake up feeling the sensation of whispers, as if someone was narrating tales from ages gone by right into her ear. A few times she described a discernible weight at the foot of her bed, as if an unseen entity had chosen to rest there. Most unnerving was the room's clock, which she claimed would consistently freeze at 3:16 a.m., only to resume its tick-tock with the first light of dawn. Despite the uneasy feeling I always had, a big part of me thought that time might have lessened the room's creepy feel. So, 2 years ago, when coming home from college with my girlfriend, I had a tough choice. Staying at my mom's was always cozy, but there was the problem of where to sleep. The idea of both of us squeezing into my small childhood bed wasn't great. On the other hand, letting my girlfriend sleep alone in the guest room didn't feel right either. I tried to think that maybe my past memories were just my young mind making things up. Besides, there's safety in being together, isn't there? I thought two grown-ups wouldn't easily get scared in an old house, but my girlfriend was clearly uneasy from the start. During past visits, she often mentioned the room felt odd. "It's like the air's heavier in there," she'd say, usually wanting to keep the door shut tight. But this time I managed to win her over by talking about the room's main perk, the big, soft bed that felt like sleeping on a cloud. After some thought, she agreed, and we decided to spend the night together in that room. For good measure, and perhaps due to her underlying anxiety, we locked the door behind us. We found sleep pretty easily, probably because we were so tired from the day. The room was wrapped in a deep darkness, broken only by the dim light from the nightlight we'd turned on. However, that calm feeling didn't last. I remember waking up suddenly very early in the morning, the room cold around us. My girlfriend's grasp was tight on my arm, her voice quivering with panic. The quiet ambience now felt charged with a lingering tension, as if the room itself held its breath. The sound of her voice, a mix of fright and disbelief, brought me fully awake. "Did you just pull me?" she whispered, each word trembling, carrying the weight of her fear. I shook my head, trying to shake off my sleepiness. "What are you talking about? I was fast asleep," I replied, looking into her eyes to understand better. She took a shaky breath, her eyes darting around the dimly lit room as if expecting some phantom to emerge. I felt a hand, cold and clammy, slowly wrapping around my right ankle. At first I thought it was a nightmare, the kind where you feel you're falling. But then it yanked hard. It didn't just startle me awake, it literally pulled me halfway off the bed. I lost my breath for a moment, gasping for air like I'd been underwater. I could feel her heartbeat speeding up, her fingers holding onto mine tightly. I'd been on her left, wrapped up in the warmth of the blankets, and there was no way I could have been the reason for her worry. The scary fact that neither of us caused this frightening experience was clear to us both. The weight of the night surrounded us, making everything feel more intense. The rest of the house sat in deep darkness, a sharp contrast to the dim glow of our room, making it seem even less inviting and far from a safe haven. Taking a deep breath to gather my bravery, I reassured her. "I'm right here with you. I won't sleep. I'll keep an eye out. We're in this together and we'll get through the night." We sat close and alert as the hours went by. The only sounds were the distant creaks of the house and the clear beating of our hearts. As morning came, the first rays of light began to peek through the curtains, casting a soft glow that brought with it a much-needed sense of relief. "We should head out, get some breakfast," I suggested gently, keen to remove her from the room that had become our prison. From that day onward, the guest room was a place we dared not venture into at night. What happened there was too clear and too fresh in our minds. Whatever it was that tried to drag her from the bed, the same unseen presence that had given me chills years ago still lurks in that room. Even now, thinking about it gives me an uneasy feeling, but some mysteries like this one are perhaps best left alone.